Welcome back to Kind Regards the show. I want to tell you a little bit of a story, something that's gone on for me the last few days, in order to sort of reach some conclusions about the spiritual life, about hedonism, um, and the role of the thinking mind in all this, like where our egoic mind, our thinking mind, leads us, like where it wants us to go, and where we actually want to go, or like where is better for us to go than following the egoic mind. Yeah, I hope this is going to be useful. I don't really have notes for this one because it's pretty fresh. But yeah, let's get into it. I got a negative comment on one of my videos. Yeah, which is a funny way for this sort of thing to all bloom from. But I got this negative comment and it kind of spun me out. I kept thinking about it. I replied to it and I just kept thinking about it and thinking like, oh, what do they mean? Like, I wonder if they think this. I wonder if they think that. Like, I'd love to get to the bottom of it because I believe that at the end of the day, everyone thinks the same stuff. Like our thoughts are different, but the reality that we're in is all the same. And so I have this belief, sort of secret, sort of not, that all disagreements are just semantic disagreements. Like if we get down to the nitty gritty of what words mean and we clear up all those ambiguities of like, oh, when you say courage, you mean this, but when I say courage, I mean this. Once we sort all that out, everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone has the same goals, the same aims. And yeah, so I was trying to figure this comment out and it really spun me out. And I'd had a coffee that morning and I hadn't meditated that morning. I'd skipped meditation, skipped exercise. Meditation at the moment for me is not a big deal. Like I'm only doing maybe 10 minutes a day and I do that pretty reluctantly and I rip through it pretty quick and I'm pretty lost in thought. And if I skip it a day, I don't really beat myself up about it. So meditation was way on the back burner. I was caffeinated. And I got this negative comment. It spun me out. And I guess it just revealed to me how entrenched I was in like the grasping egoic mind. Like how much stock I'd put into the videos and like how much stock I'd put into like all the positive feedback. Like I was really in like a feedback loop or something, like like some kind of like addictive spiral with the videos where I upload them every day and like I record them and then I get this feedback and I get like all these numbers that say that it's really good. And all of a sudden that kind of popped because I got this negative feedback that sort of undermined the positive feedback. And well, I suppose like the Chekhov quote that I read the other day, which is from his short story Misfortune, which is like, it goes something like this: only when in trouble do people realize the difficulty that they have in controlling their own mind and emotions. And it's the same thing, when days are going by fine and like you're getting all this work done and then you have a nice walk and then you get a croissant and like when things are going great, it feels as if we don't need the spiritual path. It feels as if we don't need to be contemplative, like we don't need silence and stillness. Those things are kind of extra, or we'll do them when we need them. When we feel really chaotic, then we'll sit down and we'll be silent, we'll meditate, or we'll go for a long walk alone, or we'll do that thing that really calms us right down and gets us in touch with sort of the spiritual journey of, I don't know, non-duality and connectedness with the world, appreciation of the oneness of everything and all that stuff. Yeah, it feels like all of that is like a PRN medication. Like I'll use it if I need it. When things are going well, that is, excuse me. And then when things are going less well, like they were for me, obviously everything's relative and one little comment I should grow thicker skin or something, and that's a part of, I acknowledge. But yeah, just kind of like as soon as I was off balance, I went like, oh geez, what am I doing? Like, it, I zoomed out on my life and thought like, I don't know, so much of it is just like the buttoning and unbuttoning, the sort of relentless, just doing stuff because you do it, and there's no real, your heart's not really in it. I was like, oh geez, where is my heart? Like, where am I really stoked on my life? Like, where am I really pleased with my progress? And in these places, I guess like the places that I identified is like the video making. That's like one thing that I'm like stoked about. But I'm also attached to it. I'm also like, as soon as the positive side of that disappears, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like people don't like the videos. They're not getting views. Ah. And yeah, like if I can't think of ideas, then I get knocked off balance, and I'm, if I think like, oh, I should stop doing them, then I'm like, oh no, but I said I'd do 100. Like, what am I got to keep doing it. So there's all this like attachment and desire like wrapped up in the videos and in this kind of productive work. Similarly, like in all the other sort of areas of my life, there's heaps and heaps of attachment and desire wrapped up there. I want certain things to happen. If they don't happen, I suffer. And I don't want these things to happen. And if those things happen, then I suffer. If I have a sore back, then I'm like, oh, what? How am I going to do this? Like, oh no. And if I want to go out and watch a movie, but there's no good movies on, then I'm like, oh no, that's terrible. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but ultimately that's the sort of double act of attachment and desire that I feel stuck in. I feel like wrapped up in my day-to-day life. And so I sat down yesterday and I said, oh geez, I should really get back on the spiritual path. The beauty of the world is there to be seen. The beauty of the world is right there in front of me every single day. The like gratitude for my life, gratitude for like existence is there. It's not like I'll feel gratitude when these conditions are met. No, you can always feel gratitude. I'm just unwilling to like step into it, or my mind is not calm enough that I can step into it, or I'm not practiced enough to have access to that as regularly as I want to. And so, recognition of the oneness of everything, recognition of the non-duality of my consciousness, that there's no subject and object. In fact, there's just what's appearing. My consciousness is just one big field of awareness, and there is no little homunculus, there is no guy inside called Will who's looking out and judging everything. That's just an illusion caused by thought and emotion and the amalgamation of a whole bunch of mental phenomena. That's what I mean when I say non-duality of consciousness. For those who don't know, if that's like confusing, you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Check out the headlessness video. That might clear things up. But yeah, these things are ready to be glimpsed. They're like available in my life. We can all step into them and acknowledge their presence, and with that, let the attachment and the desire drop away. These videos are great. Sure, like I want to keep doing them and it'd be great if they grew, but ultimately this should be detached from my worth as an individual, but even more fundamentally, my equanimity in consciousness. Like, it's all well and good to do things and to chase things to change the world, to change our world, to change the physical reality by, making a video or doing, making some nice cake or whatever. That's all well and good, but ultimately we should strive to be in touch with the part of our consciousness that needs nothing to be complete, that needs nothing to be whole, to be finished, for this moment to be okay. Yeah, for a long time ago, I probably would have thought like that doesn't exist. like desire is natural and we should always keep seeking things, and the seeking of things to fulfill our desires and the fulfillment of our desires, this is the circle that keeps life moving, that keeps everyone going. And if you get rid of this, then what is there? And maybe you think that too. Maybe this is a strange thing to be like, what, you're just going to be okay with whatever's happening? You're just going to be fine with that? And my answer to that is, yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to accept what is going on, and not need anything else to go on in order to allow myself to be happy. Like the practical sort of side of that is sitting down to meditate. I'm going to sit down to meditate. I sort of wrote out last night, like 30 minutes in the evening, 30 minutes in the morning, and 30 minutes at lunch, maybe, but probably I'm hoping to get that. But the very least, I want an hour a day. And what am I going to do in meditation? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to feel ease. I'm going to try and like have no goal, have no like desires, have no wishing for the meditation to go a certain way. I just want to go really nice and just sit, just be still, just rest in stillness, just hang out. Thoughts come, you go, yeah, no worries at all. But I also don't need this. I don't need to, get caught up in this. I can also just rest. If I want to just rest, I can rest. Oh, thoughts are coming, no worries. I'm going to rest, with or without the thoughts, whatever. Or there's this pain in my body, like my feet always go numb when I meditate, and they get all tingly and then they hurt. Not too bad. Don't worry about it. But, there's discomfort in the sit. There's mental sort of cognitive discomfort of like, oh, I should do this, or oh, maybe just do a 10-minute meditation today and go and, do this thing. Like, the thinking mind, the egoic mind doesn't want to sit down and meditate. So there's discomfort there, but you just sit with it. You just go, that's okay. This is all right. I can handle this. I can accept this discomfort. I can accept this pain. That's okay. No worries. And just let things go by. Just let the stream of consciousness, I guess, the stream of existence, just go straight past you, and you just kind of watch it. You just hang out, relax, and feel as easeful as possible, and just bear witness to consciousness as it is. That's what I'm going to do. And why am I going to do it? I'm going to do it in order to have that feeling of ease, of like a lack of desire, of effortlessness, sort of infect the rest of my life, like stretch its fingers out, stretch its roots out into the rest of my life. After I meditated, I was sitting outside and I just got all these like moments of like, oh yeah, there's just nothing really going on right now. Like I don't have to think about anything. I can just sit here and look at this dog. Oh, cool, there's a dog there. Just look at the dog. Oh, there's trees. Oh, the clouds over there. That's good. Just like these moments came up for me in a way that they wouldn't have the day before, especially because I was like caffeinated because I had a coffee early in the morning. That really whips up the thinking mind, and makes it really active for me. And then I go on this walk with the dog, and I think like, oh, the videos I'm going to make later, like, oh, I should talk about this, I should talk about that. And for like a minute or two, I'm caught up in it. And then just for some reason, I think because I've been meditating, because I had a half an hour last night and half an hour this morning, this kind of like thing comes up, which is like, you don't really need to think about that. You can. It's fine that you do if you want to think about it, but you don't have to. Like, this is not the video making time. This is not the time for thinking about thoughts of what the video is going to be about, or whether it's going to be trash or not, or whether that commenter is going to reply to your comment. This is not the time for that. I'm walking a dog. So just walk a dog. You can just walk a dog right now. If you want to, you can just rest in walking dog. And then I went, oh yeah, cool. I can rest in walking dog. Nice. And then, 2 minutes later, or 10 seconds later, it's probably closer to 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, that video though, like maybe I could say this. That's a pretty cool line. Like maybe I could write this stuff down and then I'll be able to perform it. And then I'm like, oh no, it'll be more organic if I do it. And then I go, oh yeah, no, I don't need to be thinking about this. I can just walk dog. I can rest in walking dog. And that is really nice. That's really nice. It it allows you to let go. It allows you to accept things as they are instead of our egoic mind, which is constantly wanting to change experience. We can just rest in experience as it is when we remember to do so. How do we remember to do so? Well, we go slower, meditate a lot. I'm doing Henry Shukman meditations on the Waking Up app. He's really good. Adyashanti is really, really good too. Yeah, I think it'll be unlike most meditations that you've done before. And they've both been doing it for a long time. I recommend those two. Adyashanti, Adyashanti, and Henry Shukman, Shukman. Those guys are great. So check them out, and if you're into that. But yeah, I think the important thing is that like the alternative to like accepting the present moment as it is and being okay with reality as it reveals itself to you, the alternative to that is not being okay with it, which means you have to change the world to fit your image of the world that you desire. So, oh, I want a milkshake and it's got to taste just right. And then you go out to get the milkshake and you have to hit this bar, you have to get this experience, otherwise disappointment, you know? Because you're not accepting whatever arrives. Does this make sense? Like, I really sometimes I get this really vivid like image of these two paths in front of me, and one is like this hedonistic, I do things in the world because they make me feel good. I make videos because they make me feel creative. I reply to comments because they make me feel like a nice person. Like, I eat food because it makes my brain go fizz. I call my friends because that makes me feel more socially active. And it also makes me feel like a nice person when they say, oh, that's really helpful that you said that. Like, all this stuff, it's just me, me, me. It's just satisfying desires. And it's a trap. It's ultimately a trap. We cannot satisfy all our desires. We cannot make the world the way we want it to be. We will constantly be disappointed. Well, maybe not constantly, but we will be relentlessly disappointed by the world. The world does not conform to our wishes. And our wishes just get thirstier and thirstier. The more we satisfy desires, the more our desiring mind gets strengthened and just runs wild, Like the more cake you eat, the more the more often you satisfy your desire to eat cake, the more often you will desire to eat cake. Does that make sense? Like, it's addiction. Like, it sounds crazy to say like I was in an addictive mindset or mentality before. It's like, well, what was I addicted to? Like drinking one coffee a day, like making videos for other people on YouTube, reading books, going to a movie maybe once a fortnight. Is that what you were addicted to? It's like, well, yeah, you can be caught up in an addiction doesn't have to be a single thing, I can just be addicted to good feelings. And if I don't get good feelings, then I feel terrible. I'm spun out. My head is running wild. My emotions are wild. I don't know what to do. I experience like bodily discomfort and all this like, depression and anxiety because I can't make myself feel good, because I can't do any of the things that satisfy my thing. I've got no ideas for videos. I don't know. I've got no comments to reply to. I've got, I'm not going to call any buddies today because I don't feel like it. All these things fall away. And then I go, well, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. And this is, maybe it's not a clinical addiction sort of diagnosis, but to me, it's an addictive mentality that I'm stuck in this desire and satisfaction of desire loop. And you can't be in this forever. I have to be okay with things as they are, even when that's uncomfortable or painful or boring or whatever. Acceptance of the moment as it arises it has to be the path. The other path is so much worse. It's so much more suffering. And I think the way that we walk the first path, the acceptance path, the best way that I've ever come across is by meditating regularly. Sitting still with eyes closed, letting everything happen as it happens, trying not to get caught up in thought, but just letting thoughts happen, letting emotions happen. Oh, now I feel this in my stomach. Okay, cool. Oh, I feel a burning sensation in my back. That's fine. I can feel that. For this moment, I can feel that. Oh, I'm lost in thought. I'm thinking about the future. Oh, how can I bear this? No, just bring it back. What's going on actually right now? Oh, it's just this. It's just what's going on. Oh, look, it's changing. Oh, it's this now. That is that's like the critical tool for me in walking the path. Ideas are all well and good. Watching this video is great. You know, it helps you have ideas about how to be in the world. But walking the path, and you know, we all got plenty of ideas. You know, I read books and I've been thinking about stuff like this for a long time. But when you don't walk the path, the ideas are useless because the ideas only come to you when you're lost in thought and the right idea appears. Walking the path gives you actual junctions with which to make turns. It frees you up in your life to not be attached to things going your way or bad things not happening. You just get to accept things as they are. And although it's basically day one for me of walking this path again, you know, I've been on the path before for periods of time, you know, meditating much more than I was previously. But even though it's day one, I already feel better, which is a testament to the path. You know, it doesn't take long before meditation and an attempt at acceptance and ease and effortlessness in everyday life pays huge dividends. So yeah, I encourage anyone who feels like they're ready for that to do that. To yeah, if this resonated with you, you know, if this makes sense for you, I guess I don't encourage you. I just like good luck, you know, like good luck if this is ready for you. That's great. I'm really glad, and I hope it's good. I hope it works out. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. This has been Kind Regards, the show. There's a Substack link and a YouTube and a Spotify link in case you want to read the articles on Substack or you want to listen or watch on YouTube or Spotify, whichever sort of way you like. Yeah, thanks very much. I hope this finds you well. I hope you have a good day. Thanks.